So here we are back at Godot docs, getting started step by step, listening to player input. All right. So this one's actually a really good one. So let's go through it. Building upon the previous lesson, creating our first script, we're going to look at another important feature of any game, giving control to the player. True. For some reason, that game that just came, that's been talked about lately, Banana Steam. This game came to mind when we were talking about giving people control. Because what the hell is this? You know, it's the game where it's the game where you can like actually buy and sell like banana skins. It's so inspiring. Like, you know, like it's really inspiring because this is what we can do with microtransactions. You know what I'm saying? So it's crap like this, you know. We're copying the whole thing. We're going to copy this a lot and give them no credit. That's the other part. We're going to give them 0 credit just because the audacity. So why, you know, if they're going to be bad, why don't I be bad? No, that's a bad way to go through life. And besides, I'm already giving them credit right now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's go. All right. So yeah, we're copying this at some point. Just look into this. We're going to look into this in depth. I don't have like, I didn't write the thing, but this thing right here is so ridiculous that we have to take everything. It's really easy. It's a really easy concept. We're going to have to take everything that they did, everything, and put it into our pocket, except for the bananas. All right. Back to this. To add this being control to the player. To add this, we need to modify our 2D or sprite2d.gd code. Okay. And that's right here. This one right here, right? So let's go back to it here. All right. And we have 2 main tools to process the player's input in Godot. The built-in input callbacks, mainly unhandled input. Pardon me. Let's do this again. We have 2 main tools to process the player's input in Godot. The first one is the built-in input callbacks, mainly unhandled input. Like process, it's a built-in virtual function that Godot calls every time the player presses a key. It's a tool we want to use to react to events that don't happen every frame, like pressing space to jump. All right. To learn more about input callbacks, we can see using input event, and that's going to be in the manual. All right, cool. Also, I don't remember if I said this in the last video. You know, they all blend together. But these are, I said the other day that these were built-in functions, but they're built-in virtual functions, okay, because of this. So, you know, like there's the position and the direction, and those are built-in functions, but these are the built-in virtual functions. All right, let's keep going. The input singleton is the second main tool, right? So singleton is a thing too. I've always thought that this was his last name, but it turns out it's a... Well, I mean, I know that this was the last name before they gave it the name, gave this computer science thing the name singleton, obviously. But still, it's crazy. A singleton is a globally accessible object. Godot provides access to several in scripts. It's the right tool to check for input every frame. Pardon me. It's the right tool. Anyway, that being said, let's go look at singleton because this is actually a thing. Singleton. Computer science. Let's design pattern. Here we go. So right here. In object-oriented programming, the singleton pattern is software design pattern. Now remember, this person said is the right tool to check for. This is a completely unnecessary sentence to us. Unless There's a reason to be saying it's right. Because somebody else is saying it's not a good thing. Some consider the singleton to be an anti-pattern. It doesn't mean we're going to quit. We're not going to quit, but let's just be aware. Because whenever you see sus stuff like this, it's the right tool. Excuse me? You know? I mean, we don't need to know that. We don't need to know your opinion on what a tool is. Anyway, so some consider the singleton to be an anti-pattern. What's that? I don't know. That introduces global state into an application, often unnecessarily. Question mark? So maybe the things this person has been saying, like instead of like global variables and local variables, maybe the way they've been saying things weirdly is because they use this singleton thing, and this is an actual crazy thing compared to something because people are actually criticizing it. Who knows? It doesn't matter. We're still using it. It doesn't matter because it's not like it's gonna, cost us an arm and a leg. It's still free, so it doesn't matter. But this introduces a potential dependency on the singleton by other objects, requiring analysis of implementation details to determine whether a dependency actually exists. That's some high-level nerd talk. This increased coupling can introduce difficulties with unit testing. Okay, we have to see exactly what that is. In turn, this places restrictions on any abstraction that uses the singleton, such as preventing concurrent use of multiple instances. Which is... Wait, does that mean we can't do multiplayer? Hold on. I mean, it doesn't matter. We're still going to use it. We just might not go too deep into Godot. Let's go to DeepSeek. Does this passage mean that things that use singletons can't be online multiplayer? DeepSeek, you better pull it out because we can go back to, yeah, look, it's the middle of, it's like 8:11. Thing ain't gonna work. Everybody's using it. So we got to go back to ChatGPT. That's not how you spell it. Boom. After I realized that DeepSeek will never be able to be used during work hours because of it, I went and got my subscription back to these guys. This will never be able to be used during work hours. No way. No way. They're like, it's 9/11 on the East Coast right now, and they are using this instead of this. Because, this used to go pretty slow in the mornings. Anyway, let's go. So the passage we're referring to criticizes the singleton pattern for introducing global state and dependencies. They get a short answer. Short answer. No. Okay, cool. Anyway, singletons also violate the single responsibility principle because they are responsible for enforcing their own uniqueness along with performing their normal functions. Okay. So whatever. Fact is, there is a problem with using singletons, and we will find them out intuitively because there's always limitations to everything, right? Like the memory sinks, the memory holes, or not memory holes, the memory leaks in C++ and stuff like that. Everything's got its problems, all right? So anyway, where did it say it's the right thing to do? This one. Okay, so we're here. So we're going to use the input singleton here as we need to know if the player wants to turn or move every frame. Okay. For turning, we should use a new variable, direction. In our process function, we're going to replace the rotation line with the code below. Okay. So this is going to be our first thing. Let's take this. Let's, what does it say? Rotation? Let's do that. So rotation is here. And we're replacing it. All right. So I don't like the way that looks. Also, these are all not where they need to be. So let's, it doesn't matter where you choose on line 10, but choose from line 10 to line 13 and press tab, and we're good. All right. So let's line this up a little bit better. Let's put the vars with the vars, the ifs with the ifs, and the variables. No, pardon me. And the, what did I just do? What did I just do? Where'd the other one go? Oh, okay. That's weird. Anyway, and these with these. All right, cool. So it's looking good. All right, so let's run it. Let's see what it does. Run right here. Actually, let's press F6. We should be able to press left and right arrow, so that's what I'm gonna do. All right. Well, it's moving, but if we just let it go, we'll lose it. But yeah, there we go. We've got this going on right now, so that's great. Let's press F8, get that out of there. Let's see what the next part is. Pardon me. So we did that. Our direction local variable. Yeah, let's go over it. Our direction local variable is a multiplier representing the direction in which the player wants to turn. Direction multiplier. Okay. Okay, cool. So this is 0. And as you can see here, direction is in this rotation thing. So if it's 0, this is just going to be 0 and it's going to add nothing to it, right? It's going to do nothing basically. And if, let's go to the next part. A value of 0 means the player isn't pressing left or right. Or, yeah, there we go. A value of 1 means the player wants to turn right, and a value of -1 means they want to turn left, all right? So, if this number is positive, because we're doing the rotation is going to go in this direction. And if it's negative, the rotation is going to go in this direction, all right? So let's keep going. To produce these values, we introduce conditions and the use of input. Yes. Okay. A condition starts with the if keyword in GD script and ends with a colon. So yeah, it starts with the if, ends with the colon, and then it's got the condition right there. Or not the condition, the instructions, the command if it's good. All right. Or if it's true. So let's come back down here. So the condition is the expression between the keyword and the end of the line. The keyword and the end of the line. So this is a keyword, and this is the end of the line. So this must be the condition. Yeah, absolutely. To check if a key was pressed this frame, we call input.isActionPressed. Yes. The method takes a text string representing an input action and returns true if the action is pressed, false otherwise. Yes. So if this is pressed, that's true. If this is pressed, this one's true. All right. And if it's false, they just skip right over them. All right. So let's go down. The two actions used above, UI left and UI right, are predefined in every Godot project. They respectively trigger when the player presses the left and right arrows on the keyboard, or left and right on the gamepad's D-pad. All right. So we can see and edit input actions in our project by going to project settings, and clicking on the input map tab. So let's go do that real quick, because I don't want it to just be the arrow keys. I want it to be A for left and D for right, because it's a video game. So let's do what it just said, which was project settings. No, it wasn't. Hold on, let's go look. It was input map. That's what it was. Project settings, input map tab. There we go. All right. So right off the bat, we see there's nothing here, but we need to find UI left, UI right. UI left, UI right. Can't find it. Why? Show built-in actions. Boom. Oh, okay. Left. UI left, right here. All right. So as we can see, left arrow key, joypad button 13, joypad axis 0. Awesome. How about we add something? Let's go add with this plus sign right here. Add event. It's for this one specifically. And we will say listening for input A. Okay. Boom. Now let's go to right. This is why I rehearsed, because this took me a while to find. All right, right. So here's right here, UI right. Let's add D. Okay. Close it. So now when we run the thing, let's press F6 and get ready because we know it's going to be moving. F6. D, A, D. Yeah, how about that? Are we programmers yet? So let's go to the next part. All right, so finally we use the direction as a multiplier. Multiplier. Give me a second. What? A multiplier? So finally, we use the direction as a multiplier when we update the node's rotation. Rotation plus equals all this stuff. Okay. We're going to comment out the lines var velocity equals this stuff and position like this. Yes, we're going to put the little hashtags in front of them to comment them out. So let's go do that. Position. Here's the first one. We'll shift 3. Now let's do shift 3 on velocity. Makes sense. Now let's run it with a little F6 action. Do the A and the D and the D and the A. You are getting sleepy. No, you're getting sleepy. Anyway, maybe one day we'll do some of that. Not today. Let's go. So this is going to ignore the code that moved the icon's position in a circle without user input from the previous exercise. True. If we run the scene with this code, the icon should rotate when we press left and right. It did. Moving when pressing, and also it works with, I'm sure you know already, but we can use A and D, and we can also use the keypad. I'm using the arrows on this one. That's why it's so crisp. And now I'm using my left hand on the A and the D on this one. Anyway, let's go back. All right, where are we? Moving when pressing up, right here. So to only move when pressing a key, we need to modify the code that calculates the velocity. We're going to uncomment the code and replace the line starting with var velocity with this code below. All right, so let's get this. Let's come over here. Let's var velocity. Where you go? This one here. Let's just take this and just trade it out. And I guess we got to move this over because it's an if statement. One like that. All right, and let's uncomment position while we're at it. Let's also get this var and let's put it next to this var. Pardon me. Let's get this space, this blank line after it also. And bring it up to here. All right, there we go. Oh, there. That's all we needed to do. All right, great. So we've got this going on. Let's press F6 and see what happens. All right. Oh, we're going to have to change the up to We're going to have to add W to that. But yeah, look, it moves. We could probably do this with down. All right, get out of that. Let's change it up in the thing. Here we go, right here, project settings. Okay, great. Up. UI up, right here. All right, add it. And then let's add W. Boom. Okay, great. Now let's run it again with a little F6 action. And just like that. All right, great. So we're done with that. Let's go to the next part. We initialize the velocity with a value of vector2 0. Ah, yeah, we are going through this. Yeah. So we initialize the velocity with vector2 0.0. It's another constant of the built-in vector type representing a 2D vector length of 0, right? So basically what this is just like this. It's just saying var velocity is this right here. The vector2 of 0, comma, 0. Let's get that period out of there. All right. That's not how you do it at all. All right. Basically, this is the same thing. If we run it, we can see it's still moving. It's the same thing. It's just sometimes I guess people want it to look like .0 and some people want it to look like a vector. So whatever, no big deal. I wonder what vector2.up looks like. How do we do a print? Let's do a print, actually. Let's say print vector2.up. Well, we're at it, right? Why not? Run it. Okay, there it is. Look. Okay. Every time oh yeah, remember with Godot, up is the negative, right? Okay, and every time this thing is refreshing, it's refreshing this. So this is what the up is. Cool. And then I bet right and left moves this stuff. Cool. Okay. Interesting. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Let's get this thing out of here. All right, so that's cool. Let's go. Let's actually, you know what? Forget that. Let's do this. Vector2 up. Let's print the other two while we're at it. Copy, drop. Let's do right and left. Right. Let's do left. It's going to be a negative one and a positive one. Left. Okay. Yeah, let's run it. There it is. Vector, this is up, this is right, and this is left. Up, right, left. So left is -1, right is +1. Turns out. Okie doke. So now we're cool. Yet again. Get this stuff out of the way. Let's run it. Make sure it's still clean. It's clean. And let's get rid of it and let's go back over here. What? Chrome's been shutting down on me lately. I don't even know why. Whatever. Yes, I did spell Godot. I don't care. Anyway, getting started. Step by step. Listen to player input. Shut up. Yeah, Chrome's been closing on me lately. I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, so moving when pressing up. That's what we did. So we initialize the velocity with a value of vector2 0, which is actually just vector2 0 0. Another constant of the built-in vector type, representing a 2D vector of length 0. If the player presses the UI up action, then we update the velocity's value, causing the game sprite to move forward. So here's the complete script for reference. All right. Ours looks better. When we run the scene, we should now be able to rotate left, right, pardon me, with the left and right arrow keys and move forward by pressing up. True. We can. All right. So here's the summary. In summary, every script in Godot represents a class and extends one of the engine's built-in classes. The node types are classes inherit. So the node types are classes inherit from give us access to properties, such as rotation and position in our sprite's case, okay? I'm telling you, it keeps doing this. It's getting kind of out of control, right? But whatever. Anyway, where were we? So we also inherit many functions which we didn't get to use in this example, but we'll see a lot of them. In GD script, the variables we put at the top of the file are our class's properties, also called member variables. Yeah. So in the last video when I was like, what about this? It's because it's the same thing. They just like to say different words for whatever reason. Double talk. That's all it is. Besides variables, we can define functions, which for the most part will be our class's methods, right? Yeah, so we can define functions too. Godot provides several virtual functions that we can define to connect our class with the engines, all right? These include the process virtual function to apply changes to the node every frame. All right, so that's what the process does. Changes the node every frame, and we saw it ourselves when we were looking at that those changes down here. All right, let's go back over here. And unhandled input to receive input events like key and button presses from the user. And there are quite a few more. Unhandled input. We didn't even do that. Why are they... Whatever. It is what it is. You know, it's a good... Look, compared to a lot of these guys' little tutorials or whatever, this is pretty good. So, you know, don't hate on... I'm not going to hate on them too hard. But still, what is this? I don't know. And there are quite a few more. The input singleton allows us to react to the player's input anywhere in our code. In particular, we'll get to use it in the process loop. So in the next in the next lesson, using signals, we're going to be building upon the relationship between scripts and nodes by having our nodes trigger code in script. All right. So on this one, this guy wants to know how to do it on mobile devices. We're going to use a touchscreen button node to create touch-based control. So let's remember that when we're doing that. We'll figure that stuff later. Figure that stuff out later. That's some more talk. I don't. If you want to go through these, you can. There's probably some useful info, but we're doing a video here anyway. So now we're on to using signals, and we'll see you next time.